Hey everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for another movie review. Tonight's movie, Realive. Don't know how I found it. It's from 2016, so a little bit older than what we're used to seeing. It's an hour and 47 minutes long, and it's about, I believe he's rich, it doesn't matter, but some guy who was diagnosed with a terminal illness that he has 1 year to live. He decides to get himself cryogenically frozen so that he can be revived 60 years later. And then there's some kind of connection between him and his girlfriend or whatever it is at the time, and somehow that happens. So essentially the guy gets frozen, he gets woken up 6 years later, and he's revived, and he's real-live. So I don't know, I'll get into it a little bit here, give you a better idea what the synopsis is, and then tell you what I really think. So stick around, I'll be back. Hey everybody, time for a quick check-in here. We're watching Realive. We're at the 54-minute mark and 2 seconds. And, you know, not too much to tell. He was diagnosed with cancer, had a year to live, decided to take himself and freeze himself, as we know, as part of the plot line. But they did a really good job. I want to check it in here because they're showing, you know, it's a mix between the present time and flashbacks to when he was 60 years ago when he was alive. And, you know, in the beginning they show just pieces of his life, you know, from when he gets diagnosed to when he makes the decision. And, you know, there's people in his life during that time, but it's not a clear picture of what's going on. Fast forward to when they wake him up from being frozen for 60 years or whatever. And they're showing him how he's now adapting to the new world. As you can imagine, his body's different. I mean, they kept him young, but again, he's been asleep for 60 years, essentially, or actually dead. So his body's never going to work again like it used to. They have to keep him plugged in via the belly button, kind of like an umbilical cord. And I think that helps him stay alive because he's not 100% human tissue and organs. It's a mix match, a potpourri of parts that keep him alive. His brain is there, some other things, but then some of the other stuff is either implants or robotic, and so he has to have that. And he's still learning how to, you know, get up and move around on himself, things like that. And they also have this really cool contraption that you put on. It's like virtual reality, but it's of all his memories. So they can record all of his memories, and he can go back and see everything that has happened previously. So really cool. I like the excuse me. I like the way they're going with it. It's futuristic, and then what they did was those things. This is what I wanted to tell you about those little parts in the beginning about the different people in his life. They kind of replay it for you and show you, you know, what has happened. His girlfriend is the main thing. And, you know, she's in the beginning, but you don't get that sense. It's like, okay, she was, you know, a small piece in it. But then when you put it all back together, you know, at the 50-minute mark, it makes a lot more sense. And I thought that was really neat the way that they did that. So I enjoyed that. So check that out if you see this. But so far, so good. I'm not sure where it's going to go from here. The people who have revived him are more interested in the science behind it than they are about, you know, him being a person again. More about press and research, all that kind of stuff. And of course he's more interested in being alive again. So he also has a nurse who's helping him out. Seems like a love interest, but in the future here they don't really do a lot of love anymore. It's more partners and, you know, no romance so far. But anyway, enough of me rambling on. I'm going to get back to it here a little bit. And hopefully my voice will clear up and I won't be as annoying as I am right now. But I'll check back in if anything interesting happens, and if not, I'll see you at the credits. Alright? Hey everybody, we're at the credits of Realive, and I have to say that it really went downhill after the last check-in, as a lot of movies do. I had expected more, you know, more futuristic kind of things. They're reviving somebody, so I'm thinking this is going to be pretty neat. What happens 60 years later after you come out of cryo status or being frozen, and what's the world like, and what are the people like, and things like that? Well, that's not what this movie is about. This movie is more about the emotions and the mental state of somebody once they come out of being frozen. I did like how they did their flashbacks, and that was more interesting than the actual real time. So when we're looking at the future, I was hoping for more of a connection to the real world and things that go on 60 years in the future. They touch on the fact that cars still have wheels and airplanes still have wings and things like that, but there's no glimpse. It really, the entire rest of the movie is about emotional state and the fact that he clings to his girlfriend from the past, and he's lonely now here in the future, and the impact that it had on him and him becoming a functioning member of society, essentially. Meanwhile, the scientists are celebrating their accomplishments. They don't really care so much about him, but the fact that they brought somebody back alive. So, you can see their aspect of it, and meanwhile, he's just becoming more and more depressed. And it's all about that. There's no more than what I just stated to you. The flashbacks, I enjoyed. Went back, put pieces together. They, up until a certain point, the rest of it you kind of get, you understand, he misses it. They try, and as I mentioned, they said he reconnects with his girlfriend or something like that. I forget what it read in the beginning. After he comes out of being frozen. That is not developed. That is not played out very well in this. It's a very small part. I thought there was going to be something more. It really wasn't. And I don't want to go into great detail. I probably should, because I should save you for this. But I'll bottom line it for you. I would not recommend this movie unless you're interested in morbid, depressing, long movies that really will douse any type of beliefs that you have following death or following being frozen and hopefully to be coming alive again later, because it's not fantastic. So just like this movie, not great. Had it in the beginning, I enjoyed it for the first 45-50 minutes, and then no, not for me. Maybe for you, I don't know. If you do check it out, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Maybe you had an emotional connection to this and I didn't, or maybe I just saved you some time, and you can thank me later. So either way, drop me a comment. Love to hear from you. Thanks for tuning in. Kimmel's Irish Pub.